I caught my husband texting a minor. I don't know what to do after discovering her true identity. My husband and I have known each other for 3 years and got married 6 months ago. He is everything I could have asked for. I thought I had been living the dream, but now everything has fallen apart. 2 hours into our road trip, my husband decided to take a stop at a gas station and get us some snacks. I stayed inside the car and was waiting for him until I noticed he got a notification from Instagram. This surprised me because he was always adamant on never wanting to get Instagram. I opened up his phone and decided to check what it was. Upon opening it, I found messages with a teenage girl. I only saw a couple of them, but they consisted of, "I love you. I can't wait to see you again." And him sliding on her stories saying she looks beautiful. I clicked on her profile and it was obvious she was a teenager. The fact he was cheating on me didn't even register in my brain, and it was more so the fact that he was texting these things to someone who was underage. I didn't have the chance to look further because he came back within 10 minutes. I didn't know what to do. I was terrified, betrayed, and disgusted. I was stuck with him for 6 more hours and he noticed that I was acting weird. I didn't want to confront him on the road and I felt like these hours were driving me crazy. I have been faking being sick just to get him off my back as to why I am not holding his hand or being affectionate with him. I know I should go along with it and pretend for my sake, but I physically couldn't bring myself to. I tried to take a nap to make the time go by much faster. I just needed to rest my brain before I did something I'd regret. We were heading to my parents' house and I really wanted to be by them. However, within 45 minutes my husband woke me up and told me he found a nearby hotel for us to stay in. He said he was worried about me and wanted me to rest in a real bed. He also bought medicine for me. At this point, I was freaking out because knew I was in an unfamiliar area and he was being extra clingy.
Her hair was all over the place. She looked like a female Snoop Dogg if he had been addicted to substances other than Mary Jane. I thought she was just a tweaker that just found herself in the wrong place. I figured she would just get escorted out with no incident until she grabbed my client's girlfriend by the head and started beating her in front of the family. Now I didn't know what to think. The girl was wearing a Cookie Monster t-shirt and brutalizing the girlfriend. There was no longer any order in this courtroom. The bailiff went to break up the fight. She was a 5-foot black woman that was built like the Red Angry Birds character. It didn't matter. As soon as she got over there, she whipped out her taser and hit the Cookie Monster woman with it. Cookie Monster got stiff as a board and fell to the ground. The bailiff stood over her and got snooker punched by my client's girlfriend. The girlfriend was so delirious at that point that she just started fighting the first body she saw in front of her. She got the bailiff across the head. Before long, they were engaged in a demented battle. I was watching, in awe, like everyone else in the courtroom. All of a sudden I was clobbered with a right hook that came out of nowhere. Apparently my client's boys were there to send me a message too. They used the distraction caused by Mrs. Cookie Monster to sucker punch me and the other lawyer. One of the guys went for the prosecutor, and the other went after the judge. The prosecution must have taken self-defense classes because when I looked over there, she had this guy in some sort of arm lock that looked excruciating. The other guy knocked the judge out pretty easily and went to grab my client. They ran out with the guy still in handcuffs and tried to make their escape. The bailiff was still engaged in a raging battle against the tweaker and my client's girlfriend, who had seemingly teamed up against the law. As soon as the guys opened the door, they were tackled by a squad of cops. The courtroom was in shambles. It was pure chaos. In my 20 years of practice, I have never seen anything like this. The judge ended up being fine. It turned out the Cookie Monster woman was my client's other girlfriend that he had been seeing without telling her about his main girl. Nearly everyone involved with the siege of the courtroom was arrested. I got to take off for a while and recover from the trauma of that day, but I just wanted paid time off. In reality, I thought the whole experience was awesome.